Hello, and thank you for joining us today for another interview with BioAg World Academy. In our interviews, we take an in-depth look into the lives of our esteemed training partners to gain insight on their great knowledge and learn more about how it relates to the rest of us in our day-to-day lives. Our training at BioAg World Academy is provided by lifelong industry experts who are passionate about sustainability and sharing their knowledge. Our training provides the latest information in sustainable agriculture and is designed for everyone to benefit, from business leaders to policymakers to consultants. Attendees also receive course accreditation and training materials to optimize their learning. Today's session is with Dr. KRK Reddy from Hyderabad, India. He is a distinguished entrepreneur and scientist with 7 patents and numerous awards. He founded Shri Biotech, now acquired by Valagro, and Shri Bioaesthetics, both focusing on sustainable agricultural practices. Welcome, Dr. Reddy.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for that good introduction.
Yeah, it was wonderful to have you here today. So I have a question for you. I know that we are going to be talking about plant and soil microbiomes, and I have 2 daughters and a son. And I have to tell you that when I had my son, I have never spent so much time playing in the dirt. I think he found it very fascinating. So my question for you is, have you always had this fascination? And then how is it that you actually got into researching the plant and soil microbiomes?
Yeah, too. See, even I have 2 daughters, and of course, uh, we were all very cautious about the sanitation and, of course, as well as a lot of things. So they never exposed to touching the soil. So it's not in our case. When we are children, we used to go to our own fields, and we have direct contact with the soils, and where we get a lot of immunity because of the various exposure to the microbials.
Mhm.
Coming to your question, in fact, actually, yes, I myself is a scientist. So I started this business as a first generation entrepreneur way back 30 years. So when I started my the business with the plant tissue culture, so then something but the dealing with the cultures of the plants. So that's how I generated in culturing of the plants and microbes. And slowly, pretty well, of course, science is evolved. Likewise, our thought process and our basic research and our networking, and also kind of an associations with several scientists, the research groups. That's how we developed interest towards studying the microbiomes, especially associated with the soil and plant.
Okay. And it's
Yeah.
just been a growing pile of knowledge being added ever since, and to where now it is a thriving industry all by itself, in the fact that products are being made and results are being found and seen through those who are using the practices of microbes. For those who are farming every day, why would you say, based on your experience now, is it important for them to understand microbes and the impact that it has in their productivity in their farms?
We know pretty well last 100 years, our agriculture is driven by mostly the synthetic fertilizers, hybrid seeds, and we forgot the power of nature and also the power of microbes. So we never gave much importance. So, but last, I think maybe 1.5 decade, the evolution of science, and especially when it comes to the microbiomes, understanding them, and also the soft tools like omics coming to practice to understand the characterization of the various microbes and the role of microbes and interaction between the microbes and the plants. So like that, the new science evolved. At the same time, those who are into the day-to-day farm practices, they understand the decline in farm production, and also there is a pest resurgence, diseases, low yields. All these things are all combined. People have the new thought process. What is the reason behind that. So the reason is because of soil degradation.
Mm.
And soil, I know there are three important characteristic features like soil fertility, like soil nutrient and soil life, soil physics. So these are all the various very important characteristic features. Slowly there is a degradation and the soil lost the very important features, kind of a life support systems. So these support systems are very much important for the crops to sustain and thrive and gives us yields. The yields are mostly, if you take globally, the soils are degraded, and it's all predicted that the next 30, 40 years, the soils are not going to support agriculture anymore. So therefore, the farmers now thinking and they started looking at the root cause. Especially, it is all the stakeholders like research scientists and all the stakeholders now started looking at the soil. And the very important and the missing component is soil life and soil biology. So therefore, it is very essential to look at the fertility of the soil and the life in the soil, which supports the plants. So therefore, generally, any farmer looks at different dimensions, right from the soil health angle, soil fertility angle, maybe the disease control, and also the productivity. So all these are all some extent contributed by the microbial world, so which is just beneath our feet and which it silently works in the soil. So therefore, the microbes, their role is very, very important, and also for every farmer to understand their importance. So therefore, they will start caring the microbes. So that's what actually the new thought process. Everyone is now talking about soil life, soil fertility, and also there is a Save Soil campaign is going on across the globe.
Right. So the degradation of the soil is by the practices that we've been implementing all these years, right? Not just a natural degradation, but just what we did not know of how to properly care for our soil. Is that right?
See, there is a natural degradation, maybe because of rains and also wind, where soil erosion naturally occurs. That apart, the farm practices, the intensive cultivation practices, the monoculture, and absence of the crop rotations and intercropping, these are the very important farm agronomical practices to retain the soil organic carbon, soil moisture, and also the very important the microbials. So this is the effect is double because of the human activities and also the nature. So we have seen a lot of climate change happens and unexpected floods and also the change in temperatures. All these leading to the degradation of soils, and where we lost very important the microbial life which supports the plants.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for answering that. So some of your research findings, and whether they be from your research or from others, what do you feel will have a big impact on the future of farming?
Certainly, now the whole world is now looking at precision farming, and people are talking about less residues or maybe organic inputs and sustainability and regenerative agriculture. So all these are all leading to where it's all the sustainable practice to start with the seed and soil. So the seed is a basic input, and the soil is the basic requirement for the plants to anchor and grow. So therefore, now there is the huge interest towards the microbes and the microbiomes and their interventions. So today we know the microbes involves in crop nutrition, and the microbes involves in disease suppressions. Microbes involves in including the insect pest management. Microbes helps in weed control, and the microbes helps in improving the immunity of the plant. So microbes, see, there are several discoveries, and several companies are also very much interested to exploit. So these useful microbes, the how best we can convert this microbe into a delivery system where it can be used on the farm for the maybe seed treatment, or maybe the soil application, or maybe the foliar applications. So now even there are certain microbial communities like endophytes, which can be used for as an injections, where they can be what you call injected into the plant system, where they can settle and also start functioning, and they may improve the what you call the wellness and as well as the immunity of the crops. So now we have reached a stage where we understand the function of each and every microbe, and also the function of the consortia of the microbes. So therefore, now today we are seriously focusing on how best we can convert the microbe or microbial communities and convert into a delivery system which can be used in day-to-day agriculture. So there are a lot of like microbiome engineering today is people are talking about. The persistent agriculture I already said. So likewise, every walks of life, every walks of agriculture, we can use these the microbes or microbial consortiums and microbial metabolites. So definitely there are it's a gray area and also very upcoming area, and definitely even big multinational companies who are into the chemicals. Traditionally, they are the chemical manufacturers. Now they also realize that the microbes are biologicals. I can say the extended word for microbials is holistically, we can say the biological preparations may be natural substances or maybe derived from the microbes. So these are going to play a very essential part of crop management, maybe crop or disease management or insect pest management or the nutrition management. These are the major what you call verticals of agribusiness and also agricultural practices.
Okay. So really all of the issues that a farmer addresses, it seems like microbes can be utilized to address those issues, whether it be the
Yeah.
yield or whether it be plant diseases or weeds, and of course, just a stronger, healthier plant. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who was wanting to look into applying microbials to improve their crops, so whether it be the productivity or just the yield in general? What would you recommend?
See, see, in general, everyone looks at their soil profile first. Their soil is healthy or not. So now there are the measurements. The how much is the soil organic carbon? So what is the soil pH? What is the microbial load? Do we have the essential microbial communities in my soil or not? So now the diagnostics are available, the procedures or protocols are available. So therefore, basically anyone who is going to apply these microbes, they can look at their soils initially. So whether their soil can support the microbes and the microbial communities, which are very essential. So why I said essential means, so there are ecosystem services conducted by these microbes, like the nutrient utilization, especially nutrient uptake, nutrient fixation. That means it can be nitrogen fixation, phosphate solubilizations. So biological fortifications. So therefore, several ecosystem services, what do you call, are delivered by the microbial communities. So unless until we give what do you call basic support to the microbes, they can't perform. So therefore, they're also living. They required a congenial atmosphere, the microclimate for the microbes. So the basic and fundamental microclimate is the soil organic carbon, I can say. So therefore, farmers should look at how to build the organic carbon in the soil. So that may be the first step. And for that, of course, today the tools are available to what you call measure the how much organic carbon, the what is the nutritional status, and also now today tools are available to understand what are the microbial diversity in my farm today. So what are the missing microbes? As I told, the microbes helps in disease suppression. The microbes helps in controlling of the soil pests. So likewise, the microbes helps in nutrient acquisition. So what are those microbes? Which class of microbes? Now we talk about rhizobiomes, we talk about bacillus strains, we talk about trichodermas, and we talk about entomopathogens. So these are all the various the microbes which are naturally occurring in certain soils where the what you call the conditions are good for the microbes to thrive. So basic understanding of soil biology and soil status, then one can start using, and also one can start reintroducing these missing microbes into the soils. So therefore, this is one piece of advice. What you asked is, first of all, they should look out the profile of their own soils. Then start actually that is understanding the profile. Then that's nothing but the diagnosis, and then okay, then approach the research scientists, the universities, or the companies, so they can definitely understand the profile and they recommend some biological preparation to restore and this organic carbon as well as the restore the microbial populations which are basically required for the plants to survive.
And I would assume that there's just a very delicate balance that needs to be achieved.
Yeah.
So definitely have work with someone that is knowledgeable that can assist to achieve the desired results that the farmer is wanting would be critical. Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you think the use of microbes in agriculture will be like 20 years from now? I'm hoping that we see an advancement in research as well as just the knowledge that is filtered to all farmers. What do you foresee? If you can get your crystal.
Yeah, I say this is just beginning. Though I am in this as a techno entrepreneur, I'm in this business last 30 years. So I see the limelight now. So that means I have to wait 30 years for this, what do you call, the whole world recognition for the microbials or biologicals. So though we are there 30 years, but last 10 years, maybe the globally everyone who is into agriculture, they're accepting the truth that the microbes are essential. So therefore, I can say this is just a beginning, and we cannot say exactly 100% we can predict because the growing technologies, the novel technologies are coming, and especially the machine learnings and also artificial intelligence, the microbiome engineerings. There are new technologies, new techniques, and new tools are available. I say very confidently that this component is a very essential for biological agriculture, where microbes, I always say that Professor M.S. Swaminathan, we lost him just last week, is, what do you call, we lost him. And he used to say that 30 years back when we met, he said the microbes are biological software. So this biological software, we really forgotten for decades. So because we were all after these seeds or fertilizers, especially chemically synthesized. So now in course of time, because of natural degradation and also because of intensive farm practices, so we lost the diversity of these microbes
Right.
because of the monoculture and other things. So therefore now, since everyone is now interested to restore these microbial communities or to or to introduce synthetic biology.
Mhm.
That means now we know we can make a tailor-made formulations for crop specific. So we understand today the crops also recruit the microbes, and the crop root exudates are very essential. The root exudates they invite so a set of microbes which involves in what we call symbiosis or
Right.
mutualism. So the microbes depends on the plant and plant depends on the microbes. In course of time, the interactions between these two helps the plants to they acquire immunity and also acquire the nutrient from the soil and so on and so forth. There are several advantages now discovered, so therefore, the science is evolving, and the next 20 years. So what we are going to look at? So a couple of things I can say that like a customized preparations. customized preparations. That means plant-specific preparations, understanding a soil first, and then the seed requirements, and followed by, so what are those good microbes, and how to employ these microbes to help the plant to withstand biotic and abiotic stress. So likewise, we are now talking about the precision agriculture, maybe the nutrition. So biologicals or the microbes are going to become a part of, very important, integral part of this precision agriculture. So I have already mentioned about the seed coating. Now, a couple of companies at the international level, they pre-treat the seeds and they are supplying. And we have seen the good results across. So because seed is a basic input, if you give good microbial support these seeds, we can expect the cost to benefit ratio will be multifold because it's a prophylactic. The moment the seeds start germinating, these essential microbes which you give for seed treatment, they start helping, they start producing some biofilms, and it forms a shield around the root system and protect not only from the pathogens, but also helps in the root growth and also absorption of the nutrients. So likewise, there are new, like synthetic biology, I was mentioning about the microbiome engineering. There are several kinds of delivery systems, maybe for the seed treatment, soil applications, foliar sprays, injections, so direct to transfer. So these are the various new trends going to come up in world agriculture. So this apart, we are now talking about biostimulants. So biostimulants, the very important part of biostimulants is microbial biostimulants. So you name any kind of an activity, biostimulants mostly essentially for the growth and the development. And also they are going to be the stress reliever, especially abiotic stress. Today, the microbes play a great role in mitigating abiotic stress, like the salinity or the drought or maybe the temperature. So now the new thinking is now how to integrate these microbes, especially. So if you look at agrochemicals, agricultural inputs, so we do not have much of products for abiotic stress. Yes, biotic stress, yes, we are using biopesticides, we are using chemical pesticides, chemical fungicides, but we do not have a proper delivery system which can mitigate the abiotic stress, like salinity, as well as I mentioned, the drought. So this apart, the nutrient cycling. So that is a very critical part. So we are now talking about the carbon credits and carbon sequestration, and how to fix atmospheric carbon into the soil, where the microbes play a great role. So employing those microbes, so which involves in mining of the nutrients which are fixed in the soil, and also the fixing of the carbon which is there in the atmosphere. So that is another area. The carbon sequestration, and also the nitrogen. See, especially now the new trends like the non-legumes. So where we can improve the nitrogen fixing capacity by importing certain microbial communities which can help in nitrogen assimilation and fixation. So likewise, we have today, I can say 3 Bs or 4 Bs, like biostimulants, biofertilizers, biopesticides, and also the bioremediators. So the bioremediation is also very essential because soils are contaminated heavily with the chemicals. Be it may be a fertilizer or insecticides or fertilizer pesticides, but these microbes, a different class of microbes. So therefore, we have tools are available today to pinpoint the function of a single microbe or a consortium of microbes. A microbe can deliver several functions, or a microbe can be restricted to one single function. So understanding the functions of the microbes and employing them, converting them into a delivery system, it is going to definitely change the global landscape of agriculture. So maybe I expect more number of biological preparations based on the microbial system. It may be bacterial, viral, and also the fungal nematodes, entomopathogenic nematodes, entomopathogenic bacteria. So entomopathogenic fungi. So now everyone looking at how to exploit the available natural biodiversity. So now everyone is focusing, at least diverting their resources on the research and development of the microbial products for crop management. This is the trend now, and hopefully, I think more and more research happens in this direction, and more and more products may come into the market.
Growing up on a farm myself, all this time, we always just thought that it was just two components. You have the seed and you have the soil. But actually, just from what you have said today, I think the terminology microbial software is the most fitting, because the microbes affect absolutely every single part of the growing cycle. And so it's just
Yes,
critical for us to not only understand our soil, but also understand the right way to apply these microbes. Because I think if we don't have that understanding, we could not get the results of what we're trying to achieve.
yeah.
So based off of what listeners are hearing today, Dr. Reddy, how can they learn more about plant and soil microbiomes and how to apply them to their crops? What would you recommend?
See, basically, a lot of governments and government extension system. So they are helping the mostly, because basically, if you see right from the beginning, only the university systems are really helping to make the farmers to understand the role of the microbes as well as the biofertilizers and biopesticides. But now the science is evolved and the business verticals are there today, and the business people or the industries or the manufacturers, they have to take a major role to bridge the gap between the academic industry and the end users. So that is one area where, because if I am producing something, it is my responsibility to sell. So it is not a charity, it's not an NGO. So therefore, I definitely have my own extension system. I have my own extension department that helps in fact, actually, to reach the needy farmers. So most of the cases, especially countries like India or maybe the highly populated countries where land holding is very small.
Mm.
So after all, it's maybe not even a 1 hectare of the land holding. That means we need to reach more number of farmers.
Right.
So if you look at the Western world, where the land holding is maybe a few hundred acres or hectares, where if you can convince one farm manager, so you can reach hundreds and thousands of acres. But to reach, especially countries like in India, so we need to go and depends on the government extension functionaries. So therefore, the first and foremost is it's all kind of all the stakeholders, right from the researchers, extension functionaries, and the biological producers, and the distribution network. The end is the farmer. Therefore, everyone should talk good about the microbials. And the seeing is believing, we need to conduct practical demonstrations. And of course, finally, end of the day, today, the social media is very strong. And if you look at the LinkedIn, or if you look at any other every major companies, every day they are publishing their research results in the form, whatever the at the farm level, the results what they are getting it. So that is one best way to, in fact, understand. And of course, the research publications one can read, and the agricultural journals, and the media, and especially the manufacturers. This is the major role of the manufacturers, because it is a new science, and the farmers, they always look at what do you call the quick results. Unfortunately, microbials may not give that quick results like when compared to the chemicals. So therefore, we need to wait and see. So we need to give a distinct difference or distinct explanation to the farming community. So chemicals, yes, they are very fast, but they degrade very fast. Their efficiency goes very fast. But whereas biologicals, once they are in your ecosystem, your farmland ecosystem, they survive long, and they associate with the plant, and they may help in next generations to come. So, and also a few things, the applications and the mode of applications, the dosages, and the functions. It is because it is slowly evolving. So therefore, all the stakeholders like the government, research institutions, and industries collectively must work to popularize the microbials. So this is actually, I think, it all depends on the manufacturers. So we need to take this to the grassroots level.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Well, that wraps up another terrific interview. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed learning more about our esteemed guest, Dr. KRK Reddy. And we hope you join us again soon when we interview Biomaker's co-founder and CSO, Alberto Acedo Bacares, on his passion and research with soil health. To learn more about plant and soil microbiomes and Dr. Reddy's work, please join us at BioAg World Academy for his upcoming course, October 12th and 13th. You can register at www.bioagworldacademy.com. Should it be more convenient for your company, we also offer private corporate tailored training for your team, either in person or online. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day in the world of sustainable agriculture. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.